good news for all of you. I just did a long video, and I'm going to split it up possibly into 3 parts. It was about an hour long. And I could split it up into 2 parts, but I should try for 3 parts. So each segment will end abruptly. I'm a little tired today, doing a lot of yard work. Well, anyway, that's the intro, and please enjoy and please watch this series I've got going. Alrighty, thank you so much, and good to see you all again. And if you're new here, thank you for joining me. Please, and if you enjoy it, please subscribe. Okay, anyway, see you soon. Goodbye. It's going on forever, and if the election is not certified by January 20th, then the Speaker of the House becomes president. So the Supreme Court stepped in and stopped it because the way they were recounting it was illegal. If he had just said, count the whole state over, one count, not over and over again, the Republican districts as well as the Democrat, do the whole thing over again, it would have been quicker to recount the whole state than what he was doing. What he was doing was wrong. This is not the way to go about it. But people think back and say the Supreme Court decided and stole the election. And you can't count that, oh, he may have gotten more popular votes, because California, I live there, there's many different ways the Democrats create fake votes. And they did that for Hillary. They took them long enough, 3 months, to count all the votes, and all of a sudden she got 3 million more votes. I'm not going to go into many different ways, but I know there are many different ways that they manufacture those votes, including ballot harvesting, which is one of the things that they're going to be doing today. So, in 2016, give me a little history on what's gone on in the past in this country, in the Supreme Court, and why this is so important. So I'm telling you about the whole shebang. I'm giving you the big picture, and why this is, we're really hanging in the balance of losing this nation. And these people in the streets have no idea that they are burning this country down, committing murders, beating people up, terrorizing people, domestic terrorism, for the sake of making us all slaves, including them, making us all impoverished, including them, making us all live under an authoritarian regime. People who allow such destruction, this kind of wanton destruction, terrorizing people, destroying everything. The Green New Deal, in the Green New Deal, they wanted to basically destroy every building in this country and build it up again. Well, it's possible that they're enacting the Green New Deal as we speak. That's why they're burning the entire country down. And lowering the population, which is less carbon, even though we are the country that has the least amount of carbon in the world, under Trump, by the way. But also, they're lowering the population by what they're doing. So, they don't know they're walking into slavery. In 2016, Antonin Scalia, the greatest mind and the fairest mind that we've ever had on the Supreme Court, died. He was in a cabin, especially hunting somewhere, and in a cabin on the border, on the U.S. border with Mexico. And he was found with a pillow over his head. This is how the news came out. All over the news, the pillow was over his head. There's something fishy right there. You don't accidentally die with a pillow over your head, unless he had severe asthma. But then again, why would the pill be on your head? Sometimes when you die of asthma when you're asleep, either the lungs constrict all the way, or they partially constrict, and your head is turned into the pillow, and you can't get any air in at all. But this pillow was over his head. No explanation. The man is a Catholic. Catholicism, you have to get special dispensation to get cremated. If you are on the street, homeless, on the street, and living there for years, and you die, they find you dead, by law, there's an autopsy. They have to rule out foul play. Even if you are someone with no name, has been living on the street, drug addict, alcoholic, no matter ex-felon, no matter what you are, you get an autopsy. Antonin Scalia, the greatest minds on our Supreme Court Justice, he was even friends with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They agreed on many points, disagreed on some, but many. They had a good relationship, which says a lot for him. They say, oh, the Republicans are the ones making the division. But no. Yeah, he was good friends with Christopher Hitchens, too. And Antonin Scalia was very religious. They'd go to dinner at his house all the time, and they'd have great talks. So he was a guy who got along with everyone. He didn't have an autopsy. They just cremated him. So there's no way we can check out if there is foul play. The second I heard it, I thought to myself, 2000, the Supreme Court stopped the recount. For some reason, I think the powers that be were thinking that Hillary could win. It could be very close. I knew in my heart that they were going to cheat. That's why I didn't start my channel yet. I knew she was going to cheat her way into office. I knew she wasn't popular, but they were the ones in power. And even if you've got a few Democrats working at the polls, crazy Hillary voters, we know they put the pussy hats on their heads and went screaming into the streets, but they were all paid by Soros. All those riots, Soros and probably an unnamed bunch of people would do whatever they could to make sure she won. And we found out this was true during the Jillstown recount. They found in Michigan the box had 350 votes for Hillary on the outside. On the inside, there was only 50 votes for Hillary. What they were doing, they were putting the ballots through 7 to 10 times. So the recount was stopped immediately. They knew it was going to be close. And they also knew that people were cheating all over the country. And California, I guarantee you, 3 million. If you look at the counties that Trump won, he won the entire country. Only little bits of blue here or there on the coast or on the little bits on the border of Texas. He won in a landslide. Honestly, he won in a landslide. And what they did was they took them 3 months to count. They created those votes. We knew he won by the electoral process. He was going to be inaugurated, but they were going to take the glory away. They were going to take our happiness away by saying he really did win. He really did win. We were never allowed to celebrate. We never were. And we're not going to be this time either because of this mail-in ballots. 80 million mail-in ballots are going out. Unnamed, unsolicited, and no identification. Requiring no identification. Unlike absentee, you ask for it, you have to prove your identity, they have to match your signatures. Anyway, it's a whole process that they do. And I don't even want to say it to people who don't know how they do it and want to do it, want to do how they cheat. I kind of don't even want to. They know. There are people out there that know. They know. But I don't want to give any more information, and I'm sure you know. If you want to know, write in the comment section. I'll do another video. So, should the powers that be, should 216 election have to be decided by the Supreme Court? At the time, with Antonin Scalia, if he was living on it, would probably, isn't that he would favor Trump because he was conservative. He would favor the right decision, the truth. That's the kind of man he was. He even would vote on the liberal side, too, if that's what the law was, if that was the right decision. That's what he was, honest to the core. Very good man, really trustable. And they knew how he would have decided, and he would have decided that there were shenanigans going on. He would have certainly would have voted to stop the recount. They couldn't have that. That's why his death is so suspicious. So with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's been dying for a long time. She's been in and out of the hospital, and they weren't even telling us until after she got out. She's been battling cancer. She had pneumonia. This is something her family and they've admitted. This is an open book. Isn't that Antonin Scalia went from being healthy to all of a sudden dying on the border with a pillow over his head? Completely different. There's no foul play here. She said she was going to stay on that bench and never retire. She'll die there. She announced that herself, and she knew she was dying. And we could see that she was really sick. So, in Mitch McConnell did not approve of Merrick Garland. And it wasn't because it was the election year. It was because the people had decided that they wanted a check and balance on Obama. That's the reason. There's no change in it. At the time, Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that the president is the president until the end of his term, and if he wants to nominate a Supreme Court justice and have him or her put on the court, he should do it. Those were her very words. So in this instance, her daughter said to a reporter that don't allow anyone to be nominated until we get a new president. Which is completely contradictory to what she said 4 years before. But this is hearsay. It's not directly to the public. 4 years ago, she said this directly to the media, to us. This is hearsay through a few people. But it's something, you could say that's something that maybe she might have said because she did say she was going to stay on the Supreme Court. She was not going to retire. No matter how sick she was going to die there. So it's quite possible. There's the end of part 2. Thank you for watching part 1 and part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, please do. Well, sorry that this is ending abruptly as well, but I decided to cut it up into 3 parts just so it wouldn't be too long. I talked for an hour. And like I said, I talked into the wrong part of the camera. So it looks like I'm looking away from you. Well, anyway, good night and God bless. And see you in part 3, which will conclude this important series on the history of the Supreme Court, America, and what the Democrats have done and are doing now. Most important, and you know what? It's really important to share this. Really important to share this. If you want to save America, please share my videos. Please do. Thank you so much. I thank you in advance. God bless you. Covered. No, the woman's head is covered with her long hair.